live here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trizzy Tace Girouard. Got my guy, Loco Lopez, on the ones and twos. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. We are going to have a really fun show for you. Getting ready for the weekend. It's our Friday here at the office, but that doesn't mean that we don't have some awesome content coming your way. We're going to start off by talking about some trade rumors. We're going to talk about the quarterback conversation because the door is open for Spencer Rattler to eventually be replaced by Tyler Shough. And then, of course, we're going to do our mailbag as we do every single live show. Make sure you guys give me a big ol' Who Dat in the comments section if you want a shout-out. I see Chawanda, Jerry G, I Love Football, Kyron, Troy, Jartavius, Saint for Life, all hanging out with us. Appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling. 32 people are already tuned into the live show, and I want to give shout-outs to every single one of you for sending in a super chat. Is this? Oh, paper towels. Paper towels. There you go. I was like, what was that? Paper towels. Yeah. Hey, can you blame a guy for having paper towels in the studio trying to keep things clean?
Fresh roll.
Cleanliness is the key to healthiness or whatever, or happiness or whatever.
No, I thought it was health as well.
Health is wealth too. Yeah, that too. Either way, you got to be clean, be healthy, and clean as well. There you go. Anyway, type Who Dat. I see CTM, I see B Jammin, I see I Love Football, Jartavius, Kyron, Tony. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Christopher Booker. I Love Football. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. We're going to have a fun show. We're going to be doing a lot of great content. We're going to be live here probably next hour, hour and a half, maybe even two, depending on how long we want to hang out. But we do have some fun things to do throughout the show. We got a big game, though. Sunday. We'll be live, by the way, 1 hour before kickoff, 2 o'clock Central Time. Make sure you tune into that. Who you got? Saints or Bucks? Give me an S. Give me a B. Let me know in the comment section. Make sure you vote in the live poll, by the way. 32 votes total. If you had to trade one, which wide receiver are you moving? 79% says Chris Olave. I think I'm with you guys. I'd rather move Chris Olave than Shaheed.
I think we just trade Brandon Cooks. Hear me out.
What? Yeah, just trade Brandon Cooks.
Just problem solved. Brandon Cooks, get off my team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's a win for everyone. B Jammin, still going to the Saints vs. Ram game. Nice. Kyron says, honestly, the Bucks. I'm also going to say the Buccaneers are going to win this one. Saints could play spoiler. Saints could, this could be a trap game for Tampa, but I'm going to take the Bucks to win this one. Jartavius says Saints. B. Jammin says Bucks. Dean Bai says Who Dat. B, even though Mike Evans is out from I Love Football, Jartavius says the Saints. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun one. Baker Mayfield, he was limited on the injury report yesterday. Let me see if I can find what's going on today with the Buccaneers.
Their injury report yesterday was loaded.
Dude, they had 11 players that didn't participate yesterday.
You thought the Saints get injured?
Yeah.
You should see the Bucks.
Yeah. You want to talk about Saints injuries.
I see the picture. Give me a second.
Yeah, here's the Bucks injury report yesterday.
Look at all them names.
Look at all that. There's 11 names that didn't participate.
Also, favorite one, Teddy Bridgewater. Teeth.
Yeah, shout out to teeth injury. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even notice that. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. He has a teeth injury. Or he has a cavity or something. That's why you got to brush your teeth, Lopez. Make sure you don't get teeth injuries.
Oh, I brush my teeth all
I mean, this is going to be a fun matchup. I'm excited about this game. We're going to go through the latest. In terms of some Saints injury news, I should say. Alontae Taylor, Chris Olave, Chase Young all returned to practice today. Juwan Johnson, he was in a standard jersey. He was in a red non-contact jersey yesterday. But today, he is back. He is on the field, and he is moving well. Chris Olave moving well. He was not at practice yesterday. So there you go. That's the injury front around the New Orleans Saints. So, Devin Neal, big opportunity. Kendre Miller off the field. Kyron, watch how they all going to play on Sunday, though. Yeah, no doubt. They're going to somehow all be healthy enough to play on Sunday. Because it's a rivalry game. Anyway, we have a super chat menu to go through today. If you guys want to send in a super chat, $5. We're going to be doing half-price raffle tickets. $10. You get a helmet sticker and some raffle tickets. Every $100 total, we'll do a beer bong. I got the Freedom Funnel, as always. The tickets today are buy one, get one, by the way. We always do BOGO on Thursdays. That's why you tune into the live show on Thursdays. That's why you hang out. That's why you support the shows. On Sundays, the helmet stickers go up to $20. The raffle tickets are 5 for 1, 10 for 3, but today they're 5 for 2. Here is our icy white Saints Now helmet. We're filling it up with stickers of the Who Dat Nation, of the Golden Gang, of everyone who supports us. So if you would like to join the helmet sticker collection today, $10, you can get on it for half price. $5, you get BOGO tickets, and the raffle item is so clean. Look at that. Look how awesome this is. It's going to be a Super Bowl champions plaque. You'll have the football cards for a bunch of different players. Marcus Colston, Pierre Thomas, Drew Brees, Jeremy Shockey's on there. It's sick. You got to go get yourself one of these, and you can enter the raffle. $10. You get a bunch of raffle tickets and a helmet sticker. Sounds like a good deal. Normally, it's just a few helmet stickers on game day, but today we like to make the deal a little bit sweeter on Thursdays. So if you'd like to send in a super chat, feel free to do so. There's a fun way that we can get back to you. If you help us out, you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. And then, of course, if we get to $100 in total, I'll do a beer bong. I have 2 happy dads in the office. First one will be for me. Second one will be for Lopez. And I'll tell you what, Lopez, if at any point today somebody sends in a 50, just because, you get one. Just straight up. Somebody sends in a $50 super chat, Lopez is going to get a beer bong. No matter what. No matter what. So, let's do
Hell
this.
yeah. I'm a winner here.
Huh?
I'll take it. That's called a win right
Oh,
there.
yeah, that's
called
one.
a win-win.
That's a big one. I Love Football says, I need that for my man cave. Well,
Same.
let's get those raffle tickets, my friend. Thomas would love to see Danny Stutzman get more time. Yes, I agree. He's been getting an increased snap count. Each week, he gets more and more snaps. If you'd like to get on the show, use hashtag Saints. Send in a super chat. We'll be taking questions and letting you guys on the show throughout the day. You want to see Danny Stutzman? Use hashtag Saints. Let us know. If you have a question about the offense, if you have a question about trades, if you have a hot take you want to share, a trade idea, player you want us to draft, anything like that, use hashtag Saints and we'll get you on the show. Thousands and thousands of people watch our content every day. And if you'd like to see your beautiful face and your awesome question on screen, use hashtag Saints for free or skip the line and use a super chat. All right, Lopez, let's get on into it first. We're going to start off with the quarterback conversation because there's quarterback controversy. In New Orleans, yep, quarterback controversy. We're going to talk about it here on the channel. Carl Lawson just got signed by the Ravens. In case you're curious. LSU fans, Mason Taylor did not practice due to a quad injury for the Jets.
Oh, no.
No. Alrighty. QB controversy. That's how we're starting off. Other NFC South news. Bryce Young did not practice for a second day in a row due to the sprained ankle. Andy Dalton is in line to start against the Bills for the Panthers. All right, let's get into the first batch of Saints news and rumors, and then we're going to go to the latest in the trade front, and then we're going to do the mailbag. Hope you guys are ready for some fun content. Reminder, $5, buy one, get one raffle tickets for the Super Bowl champions plaque. $10, you get raffle tickets and a helmet sticker. Normally, it's $20 to get a helmet sticker. Then every 100 we total that we get, we will do a beer bong. Lopez, whenever you are ready, my friend, let me take a quick sip of agua. It's our Friday, guys. Happy Thursday, happy Friday. If you guys want us to party, we can. Just need a little bit of help. All righty. Let's get into some quarterback controversy because a conversation needs to be had. Kellen Moore left the door open for Tyler Shough to start soon. Let's break it on down. Quarterback controversy in New Orleans is brewing, as Kellen Moore recently said that Tyler Shough versus Spencer Rattler in the quarterback conversation is now a week-to-week situation. This is pretty interesting because if you go back in time, the tone, you will notice, has shifted around this quarterback conversation. I mean, we're going to show you a quote here in a moment, but I have to just open up this conversation because Kellen Moore has not shut the door to Tyler Shough taking the field as the QB1 fairly soon. No, back in September, this is what Kellen Moore had to say. The important thing, guys, we're not getting into the QB debate throughout the season. Spencer's our starting quarterback. Tyler's going to keep developing. But now, Kellen Moore is saying that it's a week-to-week situation. Tone has shifted. And it begs the question, is Tyler Shough about to be the starter? What week do you think the Saints should make a QB change, if any? Let me know in the comment section. If you don't think that they need to make a change, feel free to air that out as well. Now, let's dive into a little bit of information to kind of set this scene here. Now, Kellen Moore to media he confirmed that this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Spencer Rattler will be the starting quarterback. And I do think that that's the right decision for the Saints offense. And it is pretty cool because now Spencer Rattler will get to play against the team that he got his first start against last year, the team who has the most tape on him because this will be the third time he's played this team. So really interesting to see Spencer Rattler get back on the field, really excited, really eager, because I do think that the Buccaneers are a very beat-up team, and maybe the Saints could play a little bit of spoiler after coming off of a loss to the Lions. Now, Kellen Moore recently said this around the quarterback situation. Remember, originally it was, this is not going to be a conversation. We're not getting into the debate. Now we're talking about a week-to-week situation. Kellen Moore said that we've got to just be better on offense. Spence obviously had the turnovers against Chicago, but he's played a lot of good football, and I think he's going to continue to grow and get better. I agree. He is growing. He is getting better, and I think that that's something that will continue to happen. Now, for Tyler, he's gotten better as the season's gone on as well. Obviously, his development has been behind the scenes. He gets to develop from a scout team quarterback perspective. Both of these guys are going to continue to grow, and they're going to get better. Now, it's not saying that the Tyler Shough conversation is one that needs to be had today, but it's one that we're going to start having because I do think in the near future we will see Tyler Shough be the QB1. Spencer Rattler, obviously, he has the 1-12 quarterback record as a starter. And I know that not all of that is his fault. And I will say I want to give him a lot of credit because he has developed really nicely, and I think that he's done a good job of growing and becoming a better quarterback. He's been using his legs more. His decision-making has been better. He's been taking less snaps, or less sacks, and I think that he has shown flashes of improvements. But we are still struggling to create big plays. We're still struggling to finish drives. We're struggling to have multiple touchdown games. And so, you know, when you consider the fact that the Saints did use a top 50 selection on a quarterback, benching Spencer Rattler is something that, you know, we have to talk about at some point. Now, the stats for Rattler aren't bad. Like, I don't want to sit here and say that he's been a bad football player. He's been effective, like I said, protecting the football better. He's been more effective as a runner. 155 yards on the ground, averaging 5 yards a carry, or 5.5 yards a carry on 28 carries. And his passer rating, 88.4, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 3 of those came last week against the Bears. And then, you know, in terms of the fumbles, those are something that has gone down, but he's still fumbling here and there. Now, the advanced stats, like, I'm not sitting here saying that he's been bad, but he's second in turnover-worthy plays, only behind Jake Browning. And if you take a look at the quarterbacks who have played more than 50% of snaps, he actually leads that statistic. 8.2 average depth per target, 207 yards per game, 55.7 QBR. I'm not saying Spencer Rattler's been bad, but I do think that at some point you need to take a look at what you have drafted because we are seeing the youth start to prevail in New Orleans. We're going to continue to have this conversation because I do want to give a lot of credit to Spencer Rattler because he's showing a lot of awareness of his situation, and we're going to dive into that in a moment. But first things first, got to keep that hiney shiny with a tushy bidet. And look, calling the Saints a crappy team doesn't have the same sting now that I use a tushy bidet. And although New Orleans is in the midst of a rebuild, it's never too early to plan for Super Bowl season. Installing a Tushy bidet makes bathroom visits so much more comfortable for your guests and your pipes. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. It's so easy to use. You sit, cleanse, and dry using the built-in air dryer. That's right, cleaning yourself after using the bathroom is now hands-free. And Tushy Bidet gives you 2-in-1 benefits, reducing irritation, preventing micro tears with the soothing water instead of scratchy toilet paper or damaging wet wipes. Every Hello Tushy Bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. I like to say installing it is so easy, even a Falcons fan could do it. It only took me a few minutes, and I'm not somebody who went to trade school. I don't have a lot of expertise as a plumber or as an electrician. I just hooked it up to the water line, and life was good. Now remember, a-hole's only a dirty word if you wipe, so for a limited time, listeners to Saints Now by Chat Sports get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. Stop, drop, plop, and get a Tushy. Trust me, your bottom will thank you. Now, let's give Spencer Rattler some credit where it's due, because I do want to say in the most recent press conference he had on Monday, he directly addressed a lot of the mistakes that happened in that Chicago Bears game, and he directly explained, here's what I should have done. Here's why I should have done this. And he would explain what he would have done differently and what he needs to do differently moving forward. So I have to say I appreciate the awareness. I can appreciate the ability to see the problem and then know how to fix it. Because if you don't understand there's a problem, then how are you going to fix the problem, and how are you going to find a solution? So I want to give a lot of credit to Spencer Rattler, and I do think that he's somebody who should stay on the field for the foreseeable future, at least for the next few weeks. And I would not make a change at quarterback yet. And especially if he ends up beating the Buccaneers, that's something that I will value very, very highly. And of course, he only has one win over the course of his starting career, but Spencer Rattler is a player that if he can start finishing those drives and he can start scoring more points and he can find ways to get wins and turn those almost wins into victories, then you really, really do have something special in this quarterback. And again, he's only in year 2, so there is something to say about he deserves time to develop. But Kellen Moore did speak about that with his 4-turnover game that Spencer Rattler just came off of. Reminder, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. Kellen Moore saying this: that's the way Chicago's played, and they've done a phenomenal job of creating turnovers. Obviously, there was an unfortunate sequence there. We've got to protect the football. That's very, very valuable to these games in terms of winning them. He was talking about the second play of the game when Spencer Rattler fumbled the ball. That's a growth opportunity. We've got to get better there. And look, I totally agree. This is a growth opportunity, and this is an area where Spencer Rattler has an awesome chance to bounce back and show that he can battle through adversity and actually come out on top. I'm eager to see how he responds. I want to see him play well. I am rooting for Spencer Rattler to play well, because at the end of the day, this quarterback conversation to me isn't, well, it's either Rattler or it's Shough or it's this player or it's that player. It's who's going to help my team win football games? Who's going to help me get to the Super Bowl once again? And friendly reminder, this is a developmental year. Just across the board, this is a developmental year. You have 9 rookies on the roster. Youth is starting to take over amongst the starters. Danny Stutzman is getting a higher snap count. We're seeing his usage increase every single week. Quincy Riley is a starter. Kelvin Banks was a day 1 starter. Jonas Sanker, he's a starter. Devin Neal, he is now going to have an increased role because of the Kendre Miller injury. We're starting to really see these young guys take over. And for the sake of it's a developmental year, reminder, it's not just the players, it's Kellen Moore too. This is the first time he's been a head coach. Of course, he's a high-level play caller. Of course, he's a very bright football mind. I think that he is going to be fine in the long term. This is just still a developmental year for him. Got to make some mistakes to figure out what works and what doesn't. Got to have successes. Got to have failures. And you got to learn from both of those in order to truly become a great football coach. And I think that Kellen Moore is a smart enough football mind to do that. And I have a lot of faith for him in that reason, or I have a lot of faith in him for that reason. And I just want to put that friendly reminder out there. It's a developmental year, so it's okay that we're seeing some of these struggles across the board. Now, for Tyler Shough, I do firmly believe we will see him start this season at some point. Don't know when. Maybe it's after the bye. Maybe it's, weeks 14, 15, 16, 17. Maybe it's later on in the season. But I do think we're going to see Tyler Shough start. And that's not a knock on Spencer Rattler. That is not an indictment on his football play and his tape this year. It's just more so of we're not winning a lot of games. We're clearly not going to be going on a run anytime soon. And the New Orleans Saints do need to figure out if a quarterback is a massive need, especially if they're going to be picking in the top of the draft. I personally wouldn't draft a quarterback, but you still got to figure out what you got in this player. So I do think at some point we will see Tyler Shough start the season. Remember, the tone has gone from this was our guy, Spencer Rattler's our starting quarterback. We're not doing the QB conversation to it's a week-to-week situation. Now, if there are any updates around the quarterback conversation, if there's any news, rumors, roster updates, anything like that, we got you covered. We also go live Mondays, Thursdays, and game days. So make sure you turn on your notifications. Join us there. We film this as a part of our weekly live show on Thursday. It's a lot of fun. We go live at 3 p.m. Central Time during the week. We love to chop it up around the black and gold. Come hang out with us and some Saints fans and get more coverage around your favorite team. Now, Kellen Moore also talked about how this is a developmental year, and I think that it does a good job of kind of just painting the picture of what's going on and kind of the why behind there has been some struggles, and I'm just going to go straight to Kellen Moore here. We're developing younger guys. We know that. But at the same time, that doesn't change the objective every Sunday. We still got to go out and play better football, coach better football, and go win some games. That can be independent of what happens on Sundays as you're developing those guys, which we think is really important as we go. I totally agree with everything he said. It's important to develop the young players. It's important to get better at playing football. It's important to get better at coaching football. It's important to find ways to win games. You're not going to win a ton, but you got to find ways to win some. You got to show that you have fight. You have to show that you have grit. You have to show that you're a competitive team, and I think the Saints have done that. But let's finish, and let's just do that little extra something, that extra umph that the Saints need to get over the top and truly get those wins. And I'm going to just say something. Maybe you guys are not going to like it. Maybe you guys are going to get mad in the comments. I'm not going to sit here and argue. Like, I can understand if you guys are mad, but I want to see what Tyler Shough has. I want to see why Kellen Moore drafted him 40th overall. I want to see why he felt like the second round was the best time to go and get this player. Not a Will Johnson, not another player that you could have added to the offense or to the defense. I want to know why Tyler Shough was a top 50 pick. I want to know what Kellen Moore saw. I want to know why he believed in this player. Kellen Moore hasn't given me any reason to not believe in him. I want to see what his hand-picked guy is capable of doing. And to be totally honest, I'm not going to apologize for that either. I want to see a top 50 quarterback play. Is that something crazy to say? It's simply not. The conversation would be the exact same if it was Shedeur Sanders, if it was Jalen Milroe, if it was Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Shough. Doesn't frickin' matter. It could be Garrett Nussmeier, Fernando Mendoza, Arch Manning. Doesn't matter. If you take a quarterback in the top 50, I want to see that player play. Doesn't matter who the player is. Doesn't matter the name. I want to see why they believed in that player enough to use a prime selection on him. And I'm not going to apologize for wanting to see a top 50 quarterback on the field. Just simply something I'm not going to do. Final thoughts, though. I'm not hating on Spencer Rattler. By no means is this video knocking Spencer Rattler or the player he is. I'm a Rattler fan. I was rooting for Rattler. I still believe in him. But Tyler Shough was handpicked by Kellen Moore. So we are going to see both of these players get an opportunity. And you can't sit here and say that the Saints haven't given Spencer Rattler another opportunity. He's gotten a great chance at the beginning stretch of the season. Of course, it's the first year under Kellen Moore. Of course, it's the first year with the new system. But he's gotten a lot of opportunities. He's gotten to throw a lot of passes, and they haven't won a lot of games. And for what it's worth, the roster, especially on the offensive side of the football, very, very healthy. So all in all, I don't think that we're going to see Spencer Rattler get off the field anytime soon. But I do think after the bye week, that is somewhere you could target. Now, who will be the Saints franchise quarterback? I want you to let me know in the comments. Rattler? Shough? Is it someone in the draft? Is it somebody that is still in high school somewhere? Is it a player in free agency or somebody they're going to trade for? Let me know in the comment section who you think will be the franchise quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. Appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trizzy Tace Girouard. For my guy, Loco Lopez, y'all stay golden. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Booyah! Got a couple super chats. Huh? Is it just the one? Jay? All right, Jay. You get a helmet sticker and some raffle tickets. Welcome to the first names on the raffle for this week, Jay. Do you want to see what you are entering the raffle for? What did he say, by the way? Danny Stutzman needs to start over Pete. We are going to see more and more from Danny Stutzman each week. I do think Pete Werner is a player that could get dealt at the trade deadline, by the way. So I totally agree with you, Jay.
Sounds like Jay is a dirty little stud.
Yes, Jay, you're talking to the biggest dirty little studs out there. Fun fact, Jay, I don't know if you saw it, but we had Danny Stutzman on the show for an interview. It was really fun. Jay, here's the raffle item that you have entered. Because you sent in the first one, I'll give you a couple extras.
It's a plaque. We are now a plaque channel. We give away plaques every week.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do this, Jay. I'm going to put you the first one on the back here.
Ooh.
You get to be the first one on the back so we can start filling out that side.
Yeah,
but I'm going to put you at like the top here so you're center of attention. How's that sound, Jay? You're on the back because somebody had to start it.
Hit it from the back, Jay.
But right there, that's the raffle item. So if you want to send in a $5 super chat, it's BOGO today. $5 is normally one ticket on game days, but today it's going to be two. $10 is going to be 5 raffle tickets and a helmet sticker. And then $100 total dollars, we will do a beer bong. I have 2 beer bongs. And if we get a 50 at any point, somebody wants to just ball out, drop a 50, Lopez will do a beer bong.
I don't think anybody's gonna do it.
You don't think anybody's going to do it?
I don't think they got it.
Do you guys want to
I would love to see.
Let me ask a
They got it
question.
in them.
Simply just put yes or no. Simply just answer yes or no. Do you guys want to party? Do y'all want to party? / do y'all like to party? All right. Injury report just dropped. Teddy Bridgewater still did not participate with his teeth injury.
What is going on with dude's teeth?
Baker Mayfield was a full participant today after being a limited participant. Vita Vea did not participate today. He popped up after he was not on the injury report yesterday with a foot injury. Chris Olave upgraded to a limited participant. Alontae Taylor was a full participant after missing yesterday with a personal matter. Chase Young, full participant after missing with an illness. Juwan Johnson still limited. Alvin Kamara still limited. Devon Godshaw was on his rest day as always. So overall, across the board, pretty good injury news for the Saints. In terms of players who still did not participate for the Bucs, Teddy Bridgewater, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving, and Hassan Reddick. The Buccaneers already ruled out Godwin, Irving, and Reddick this week, so there is that. Nobody was downgraded. And then Vita Vea popped up today, so there you have it. Injury.
We do have a couple people that said they like to party. Shout out to I Love Football, Jartavius Nathan.
Okay, so Dov Clement just tweeted out. F Dov, by the way. Strange. Teddy Bridgewater has missed 2 days of practice this week because of his teeth. Not sure I've ever seen that before. You literally said that.
Did you find my burner?
You're Dov.
Yeah. I actually haven't told anybody this.
You're Dov.
I am Dov.
You're Dov. I knew it. I knew there was something up with you. Alrighty. Who wants to get into some trade buzz? The latest on the trade front. I see a lot of people saying they want to party. $5 super chat. You can enter the raffle just like Jay. $10, you enter the raffle and you get a helmet sticker. And if we get to 100 total, I will do a beer bong. If we get a $50 super chat at any point, Lopez will do a beer bong. So there you have it.
Sounds like a deal. But I don't think they're going to do it.
Hola. And a trade? I mean, he was the first, probably second. He was a first-round pick. Probably, yeah. I think that's probably what they would want at least. Because they traded. He was the pick that they took when they traded Sean Payton's rights. So he was like a late first-round pick. Huh? I said Durham threw that out there, and I was like, I never even thought about that one. But yeah, I mean, he hasn't popped up in anything. Nobody's mentioned him, but Pete Werner, linebacker, Carl Granderson, edge rusher. Carl Granderson, yeah, he's a decent one. Yeah, but Brian Brzee second if you want to talk about him. Jerry, good to see you, brother. Safe travels to you, Jerry. He was at the doctor's office. Glad to know everything's good, man.
Staying healthy.
An apple a day. Jerry, make sure you eat your apples. That way you don't have to go to the doctor's office. All right. Let's get into some trade rumors because we got a developing situation here. You guys are going to see me disappear, but you're going to see Lopez. I'm back. I had to go close the door. Huh? Ooh. All right. Let's break it down. Trade buzz coming at you here on Saints Now. By the way, don't forget to like the video. Only 10 likes. What are we doing? Hit that thumbs up back on. Yeah, do you guys not like the content? That's so rude.
If you don't like our content, let us know. We can stop anytime.
Exactly. All right, let's get into it, Lopez. Whenever you are ready, my friend.
Let me get the prize picks moved up, and then we can go.
Cool.
We're sponsored by Prize Picks in this cut, so
yes.
download Prize Picks.
Download Prize Picks. Use code CLNS. $50 when you play 5. Oh, wait. Make sure I pull my script. No, I'm not ready. Now I am. All right, let's party. We got a developing situation after a report recently dropped. Multiple teams are monitoring Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed ahead of the November 4th trade deadline. My name is Trizzy Tace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports, and let's have a conversation about keeping or trading both of these players. Now, there's a handful of teams out there that need some wide receivers, and there are reports out there that wide receiver needy teams are interested in trading for the pass catchers in New Orleans. Pittsburgh Steelers, New York Giants, New England Patriots, Denver Broncos. Those are all teams that come to mind, but then there's also the Atlanta Falcons and some other squads out there that could use a wide receiver. The Saints aren't going to make an interdivisional trade. But like I said, the trade deadline, November 4th. It's just a few days away. It's going to be here before you know it, and there's a lot that could happen between now and November 4th. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications so you can get news, trade rumors, updates, because it's not going away anytime soon. It's not slowing down. November 4th will be here before you know it. You don't want to miss a thing. Now, Jordan Schultz was the one who put out the report around Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. Two wide receivers in New Orleans, Olave and Shaheed, are being monitored by wide receiver needy teams ahead of the trade deadline per sources, as we said. Both are set to become a free agent. Wait! That's not right. Going to take a second in there in a moment. With the Saints sitting at 1-6, several teams are wondering if New Orleans might move on to gain future assets. Now, I want to just say one thing for what it's worth. Jordy, learn ball. Chris Olave becomes an unrestricted free agent in 2027. The Saints picked up his fifth-year option. Simple Google search would have done wonders there. Long story short, Jordan Schultz did reply to my reply calling him out saying, hey, by the way, learn ball. And he corrected it and was like, oh, yeah, no, it is, 2027, whatever. Long story short, there is an extension conversation in the works right now in New Orleans around Chris Olave. This isn't anything new. We've talked about this extension multiple times here on the channel, and I want to emphasize, just like there's no sense of urgency to trade Chris Olave because you still have him under contract through next season too, there's no sense of urgency to go and extend him right here, right now. From both sides, I would say. One being, Chris Olave may want to get that insurance and get that security for the long term, because one more hit, he could really suffer, and he really will want that money and that security. Now, the other side of the coin is the Saints may be able to get him at a good price right now, / Chris Olave, if he waits, might be able to get more money. So there's a lot of things that could go on here. All in all, I don't think an extension is going to happen anytime soon, but it is something that's been in the works. Olave confirmed that. The reports from Diana Rossini were that they were working on a contract extension. And so that is something that I do think will end up happening. But if the Saints end up trading or keeping Chris Olave and extending him, that leaves the door open to a Rashid Shaheed trade. And personally, I would crash out. I would cry. I would be very upset if we split up this duo. I don't want to lose Rashid Shaheed. I simply am just not in the business of moving off of explosive playmakers on an offense that lacks explosive plays. So, in my opinion, if I had to trade one, life or death here, I'm going to say Chris Olave simply for the fact that I think you could get more in return. But I'm going to ask you the question. If you had to trade one, let me know in the comments. We asked this in our live chat, our poll of over 100 votes. 76% said Chris Olave. I'm interested to see if the YouTube comment section feels the same way. Now, we're going to talk more about this trade report and why I would potentially keep or trade both these players, because you got to play devil's advocate, got to explore both sides. Saints are 1-6. We have to have a conversation. First things first, got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. This episode of Saints Now by Chat Sports, brought to you by the #1 daily fantasy sports app out there. And guys, we make decisions every single day, but over on Prize Picks, being right can actually get you paid. And it's so simple to play. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks is available in more than 40 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia, and it's the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns? Well, now you can, all on the same lineup over on Prize Picks. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app today. And Prize Picks puts users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. You can do it through Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account. Now, Thursday Night Football, I'm really excited for this matchup. Justin Jefferson took advantage of the Taco Tuesday deal they had going on, dropped his receiving yards to make it a little bit easier to cash in. Justin Herbert going to take the less on his passing yards, and Kamani Badal, I'm going to take the more on his rushing yards. So if you guys need inspiration on how to play Prize Picks, just follow these picks, and maybe you will win some money alongside with me. Now, download the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS, and you'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Let's go CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All that information is available in the comments and description of this video. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Now, I want to make one thing explicitly clear here. This is a warning that I have heeded. Heed my warning. I think that's the right way to use that. This is the thing that I've actually said multiple times, and I'm not going to back down from this stance. Proceed with caution if you're going to trade a wide receiver. I'm not saying that the Saints cannot do it. You might have to just to recoup some draft capital. You have 5 picks going into the 2026 draft, and you have way more than 5 needs. But proceed with caution. The wide receiver room is already extremely thin. If you move off of Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed, you're then left with the other player, Brandon Cooks, Mason Tipton, and Devon Vele. Now, over on the practice squad, you do have some other players that could potentially be elevated. You have Kevin Austin Jr., Dante Pettis, Ronnie Bell, who recently signed. So maybe those are guys that would get elevated to the game day roster. But all in all, it's still really not that juicy of a wide receiver room. And call me crazy, I think any quarterback would have a hard time succeeding with a wide receiver room lacking one of or both of those weapons. So let's have the conversation of trade or keep both of these players. Starting with Chris Olave, why would we trade him? Well, there's an injury history there. The concussions are definitely something that's, concerning, and it's a serious injury. You want to take that very, very seriously. If he suffers another concussion and you pay him a lot of money, man, you're a Michael Thomas situation again, and that blows. You would also get to push back paying a wide receiver 1 contract to a player, and I think that you would actually be able to recoup some nice compensation in terms of trade value for Chris Olave. But if you were to keep him, I think it also makes sense. He's one of the best players on the offense, no question about it. The wide receiver room, as we already took a look at, it's really, really thin, and he's a player who I still believe has tremendous upside. And so for trading Chris Olave, unless it's an offer you can't refuse, and same with Rashid Shaheed, I would say you're better off keeping them. And look, there is a way to keep both players in New Orleans. It may not be a great way. It may be unconventional. It may not be something that's super basic. It may take a little bit of creativity, but there are ways to keep both of these players in New Orleans. The question that the Saints have to answer is, do they want to pay them both? Both are repped by the same people, interesting enough. So one could influence the other, and maybe we could see Chris Olave take a little bit of a hometown discount because he wants to stay here. He wants to put pen to paper. He wants to have the job security. He wants to have the money. He wants to have his future set up. And maybe that will inspire Rashid Shaheed to do the same thing. But I also can't blame either of these guys for saying, you know what, I deserve a lot of money, and I'm going to go and, wait out and try to make money. And if that's the case, the Saints obviously should consider moving off these players. Now, let's go to Rashid Shaheed here. 27 years old. He's on the final year of his contract, and I do believe he could seek a decent payday. I think that he's a player who has been really good throughout his career. He's been very underrated, has made a very big impact in a very short sample size for the New Orleans Saints. One of the best deep threats in the entire National Football League. So, yeah, you could get something in return, and it would be pretty nice to turn an undrafted free agent into day 2 pick. Early day 3 pick, not bad. But I also think trading him away is risky. He's one of the best deep threats, like I said, in the entire National Football League. One of the fastest players in the entire league. And the Saints lack offensive weapons, and they lack explosive players, and they struggle creating explosive plays. They struggle scoring. They struggle moving the ball downfield and finishing drives. They can move the ball up the field and punt it away or miss a field goal or kick a field goal, but they struggle to get touchdowns. They struggle to score. They struggle to finish. And so I think if you move off of a player like Rashid Shaheed, that would be a little bit of a silly decision. And I think that it would massively hinder the development of the quarterback, regardless of if you trade Olave or Rashid Shaheed. Now, to be totally honest, if we traded Rashid Shaheed, I would be absolutely devastated. I've said it before. I will crash out. I will be very sad. I will probably cry. I was one of the first guys, if not the first person, on the Rashid Shaheed hype train. I mean, that's my sweet prince. That's my Pookie Bear. I don't want to see him go anywhere. I want to see him retire as Saint. I would hate to see him go anywhere. But at the end of the day, business is business, and you got to make decisions, and sometimes those are tough decisions, especially when you're in the midst of a rebuild. If they trade Rashid Shaheed, I'll be really, really sad. And I'll tell you right now, you won't want to miss that live show because it will be a generational crash out from your boy. Now, before we go to this question, I have one last point I wanted to make with there's a way they both players stay in New Orleans. The thing that also just kind of came to mind here was the fact that the New Orleans Saints, they can wait to extend Chris Olave into the offseason. They can kind of create that money, move some of these other players around, trade some of these other guys, these veterans or whatever, Pete Werner, Alontae Taylor, Carl Granderson, for example. You can trade away some of those types of players, Brandon Cooks or something, and be able to create the cap space and create the money. So, like, there is a way. I don't exactly know how to get there. I'm just a dude with a microphone who has a YouTube channel. But there is a way, and I'm praying the Saints find that way. Now, how many trades will the Saints make? 0? 1? 2? 10? What do you think? I think at least 1. Like, I'm going to be honest. If I had to make a guess on who I think will 100% get traded, I think Pete Werner is the guy who could be on the move. Appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. We got a developing situation to monitor with a trade among Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed. For wide receiver needy teams, they are interested. And like I said, we will have you notified if anything happens. So make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and y'all stay golden. We will see you next time. Boom. All right. Mailbag coming up.
We're kind of killing this live show.
Dude, we're flying through it. 42 minutes live. It's been good. Like, for what it's worth, it's been good segments.
It's been high quality content.
High quality H2O. All right. What do you guys think? Mike says Waddle for Chris Olave. No. No. Jalen Waddle, unfortunately, is going to be a New York Giant.
Also, shout out I Love Football for helping people in the comments with their hashtag Saints.
Yes.
Every person that's messed up, he tells them, like, he had Scott use hashtag Saints, Jaden use hashtag Saints.
Hey,
shout out I Love Football.
I have a question for you. Can you commit to being here every single game day? Because you're here every live show. Can you commit your Sundays to Saints Now?
By Chat Sports.
Because if you can, I'm willing to make you a moderator alongside Isaiah. And if you're a moderator, you get a free raffle ticket in all of our giveaways. And so, I Love Football. The ball is in your court.
He said yes.
Okay. Test on Sunday. I want to set a couple ground rules before I do this. So we have seen the rules be abused. You can't just ban anybody because they say they're a fan of another team. It's not what we do here. You can't just ban a person because they said Derek Carr sucks or because Drew Brees is bad. You can't just ban people just for the sake of banning people. Ban the bots, and you make sure the chat's alive. Comment, tell people to like, tell people to subscribe. You're my boots on the ground in the live chat. Can you commit that? Just say, I do, if you can commit to that. Just type I do or yes or you got it or something else. So that way we know. I will make you a mod if you can make sure you do that for me, brother. Donovan Reed, good to see you. Jartavius, Jerry G, thanks for hanging out with us here on the show. Marvin Harrison Jr. for Chris Olave. I would do that one. I'd do that one.
I don't know if the Cardinals would.
The Cardinals wouldn't, but I would. No way the Cardinals would. Alrighty. How are we doing on mailbag questions?
I'm looking at them right now.
Cool. If you haven't already, use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat if you have a question or if you have. Oh, heck yeah.
I like that one from Jaden. Jaden, you got a good question.
Fist bump, Donovan. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate I like your question this week, Jaden.
Aaron, A.J. Brown for Olave. They wouldn't do that. It would be more like Devontae Smith for Olave because A.J. Brown is the complement to Devontae Smith, which I think that's what the Saints should do, is add compliments around Chris Olave. I Love Football. Let me know if you're down to be a mod. We do take it away if you can't come through for us, but I know you will.
Yep. Let's get a couple more hashtag Saints questions.
Yeah.
in.
Mailbag is a little light today. So if you have a question, you're guaranteed to get on. Hashtag Saints or send in a super chat. If you have a question, a hot take, a trade idea, a player you want us to draft. Thousands of people watch our content every day, and you can be the next person to be featured on Saints Now if you join. So help us out, hook us up, and use hashtag Saints if you want to get on the show.
What was it? They used to be said it's time to drop our sacks or
Yeah,
grab our bags and drop our sacks.
Tej said, "Drop our bag. We got to touch our bags and drop our sacks or whatever."
We're trying to do that, but we don't have the question. We don't have enough questions. Just drop our sacks. Scott, that's an interesting question. I don't know if you would like the answer that we might give, because that's some high draft capital, but we'll talk about it. Kendall. Oh, I Love Football said I do, and he was
Cool.
fixing lunch.
All right, you're in. I love football. We'll make you mine. There you go. Don't let me down. I love football. You're good, brother. Fixing some lunch. All good. Don't let me down.
Kenny Anders, use hashtag Saints. We can talk about Trey Hendrickson. Just saying.
Use hashtag. Yeah, Kenny. What does Trey Hendrickson want? Like in terms of contract or in terms of what?
A lunch order.
Because he's not coming back to New Orleans. I can tell you that. You know what would be a bad idea is if the Saints traded multiple first-round picks for a player they let walk in free agency, but like multiple years down the road when he's not going to be as impactful. That's not what I would do. Just saying. Use hashtag Saints. We don't have enough mailbag questions. Make sure you get in. Use hashtag Saints.
David
Thank you,
Bailey.
Scott, for a couple draft ideas.
I have to Google this David Bailey.
David
guy.
Bailey.
Texas Tech. Damn. Linebacker. Only got 14 tackles in the year, but
12 and a half tackles
sacks.
for loss, 10 and a half sacks. Shit, man.
2 forced fumbles as well.
Sign me up. Sign me up. I have to think about that one. Yeah, second round pick should be that. First round pick, look, if you go Caleb Downs in round 1, let's say there's a couple ways you can go about this. You trade back in round 1, get extra picks, whatever. That's an option. The other one is, you go get like Caleb Downs in round 1 or Arvell Reese. If you don't do Arvell Reese, then I like David Bailey a lot. It could be a good option. But I also don't hate the idea of getting a pass catcher. There's just so many needs. Kendall Taylor, great question. We'll make sure we answer it. Hashtag Saints. Isn't Lil Jordan Humphrey on the Giants?
I don't know where he's at, but I'm pretty sure Gabe Davis is off the board as well.
Yeah, Lil Jordan Humphrey is on the Giants right now. And Gabe Davis, also not available. Allen Robinson, no.
I Love Football. I did see your hashtag Saints. I'm pretty
CTM, thank you for $2 super chat. We'll make sure we get you in there. What do I think of the new running back the Saints got from the Broncos? Audric Estime, practice squad body. Don't think he's going to be doing too much. Maybe he gets to be like the RB3. I hope I don't burst any bubbles when I say this, and if I do, I will be shocked if you guys thought it. Audric Estime on the practice squad is not going to help us win a Super Bowl. Hope that's not a revelation. Marcus Yarns, I don't know where he's at. He's not on the roster though. He's not on the practice squad. He's probably in the UFL or something. So I can understand, like, hey, he was on the roster at one point. Sure. look, he was at a UDF out of Delaware. I'm not knocking the dude, but like, there's 31 other teams who don't want him, and they haven't wanted him up to this point. There's a lot of injuries, a lot of offenses could use an extra running back. There's probably a reason for it, and I'm not saying that we have to go or that he was bad, but like, Marcus Jones isn't a needle mover. He isn't. Sure, maybe for like some depth we could bring him in, but you already have, like, you went and signed Audric Estime, so that just tells me that they don't want him, if that makes sense. I Love Football asks, who eats their dinner and lunch while watching the show? I do. I watch the show all the time. My dude is watching the show at work or at home right now.
Dude's at work right now.
Can you take out programming reminder on that third note? Just do just the subscribe and join us. That's fine. Scott, hashtag Saints, do you think we can get Reek Woolen in free agency? Is he a free agent right now? No,
he's on this.
But he's on the last year
Seahawks
contract. We can talk about Reek Woolen. I don't think he would be coming here, but we can talk about him.
I forgot one trade I saw on Twitter, but it was like Tariq Woolen for somebody.
Like Alontae Taylor or something?
No, I think it was someone that was struggling.
Anything?
No, never mind. It was the Bengals.
Kendall, anything on Trey Palmer? Yeah, he's on IR. That happened a few weeks ago. We talked about that on the channel too. And I tweeted about it.
Do you not follow Trizzy on Twitter?
We that's yeah, he's been on IR for a few weeks now. Like I think it's 2 weeks now. There you go. Alrighty. Let's get into some rumors. Get my timer back up. And then we'll hop on out here. You're watching Saints Now. My name is Trizzy Tace. Let's answer some questions in our mailbag. Yep, you're good. Use hashtag Saints if you want to get on the show. We have plenty of spots open. If you don't use hashtag Saints, you can't get on the show. And if you use hashtag Space Saints, it doesn't get you on the show either. It's like we have typed it out right there. Just copy what I have on the screen. Hashtag Saints, question. All right, let's do it. Coming up, we're going to get into some rumors here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler linked the Saints to a Russell Wilson trade, and then we're going to get into the Golden Gang mailbag. We do this every single live show, and if you guys want to join us live during the week, make sure you turn on your notifications, but also, programming reminder, we'll be live on game day. Saints take on the Bucs at 3:05 p.m. Central Time. We'll be live at 2 p.m. Central Time, so join us here for the best watch party and the best game day atmosphere in the entire world. Now, I want to start this conversation off by saying one thing and making one thing explicitly clear. I don't want to trade for Russell Wilson. I think it would be a bad idea. I think it would be a stupid idea. And quite frankly, I think if the Saints wanted a veteran quarterback presence, they would have already added that. But Jeremy Fowler of ESPN recently put out an article ranking 25 candidates that could be dealt by the November 4th trade deadline. Russell Wilson was one of the players listed, and here's what he had to say. At this stage of Wilson's career, compensation would not be steep. His days as a productive starter appear to be over. He has a trade-friendly base salary of $2 million. Look, Russell Wilson's not an upgrade. Russell Wilson is not going to help this team out. At most, Russell Wilson could be the veteran quarterback presence that could help teach Rattler / Shough how to be a professional quarterback, how to be a successful leader, how to get to the top of the mountain in the National Football League. But again, I don't think that the Saints would want to do this. I think that if they were to add a veteran quarterback presence, they would have already done that. And I do believe that the Saints have a lot of faith in their quarterback situation led by the coaching staff of Doug Nussmeier, Kellen Moore, and Scott Tolzien. So I will say maybe a veteran quarterback presence will be something the Saints add whenever they decide whether or not they're going to roll with Shough or Rattler for the long term. But for right now, I have zero interest in trading for a quarterback. I have zero interest in making a trade in general. If I'm doing any sort of trades, it's offloading players and getting picks back. I'm not sending picks away for a player. That just doesn't make any sense to me. And if you were to trade for Russell Wilson, like, okay, fine, a 7th-round pick, but you don't have a 7th-round pick this year, and I don't think you have you have 3 7th-round picks next year, right? Yeah, either way, I'm still not trading for him. Either way. Jeremy Fowler, he also said that this trade has a 10% chance of happening. He named the Raiders and the Saints as 2 destinations for the Giants to potentially trade Russell Wilson. Now, you could do a player-for-player trade. You could do something like that. Again, I have no interest in doing it. You can sit here and say this is clickbait. You can sit here and say that I post this nonsense all the time. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN linked it. I wanted to give you my take. I wanted to explain why this was a bad idea and why I wouldn't do this and why it's a silly thing for the Saints to do. So this is not at all anything that I have any interest in doing. I am simply just giving you my take on it. Now, who would you like to be the QB1? You wanted to be Russell Wilson. I don't know why. Feel free to let me know. But air it out in the comments. If you think Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shough should be QB1, share your thoughts as well. Type the initials of the quarterback you want to see take over for the New Orleans Saints offense. Now we're going to get into the mailbag portion of this video. The Golden Gang has some heat. They got some great questions, and I got answers, and my guy Loco Lopez is going to be joining us as well. First things first, we got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is Tushy Bidets. Hey, I know you at home. I know right now you got to keep that hiney shiny. I know you need some help cleaning down there a little bit. I know it's a little messy. I'm going to tell you right now, you got to go get a Tushy Bidet, and I'm going to make the deal a little bit sweeter. You can get 10% off your first bidet order if you use code CHAT at checkout. Tushy Bidets are amazing. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. 99% of people who wash with the Tushy Wave feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. And every Tushy Bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. You literally just hook it up to the water line, and it's ready to go. It's so simple, even a Falcons fan could do it. And it's also so easy to use. Stop, drop, plop, and then you clean, and it's hands-free. Make sure you get a Tushy Bidet because those who have made the switch to Tushy use up to 80% less toilet paper, meaning no more clogged toilets, no more wasting money on something that does an inferior job cleaning your body, and no more, red things in the water, if you will. So remember, a-hole is a dirty word only if you wipe. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code CHAT at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code CHAT. Click the link in the comments or description of this video to take advantage of that deal and get started today. Keep that hiney shiny with a Tushy Bidet. Trust me, you won't regret it. First question coming in from my guy, Jay. Danny Stutzman needs to start over Pete Werner. I actually do believe Pete Werner is a player who could be dealt at the trade deadline. A few guys come to mind. Werner, maybe Alontae Taylor, Carl Granderson. I wouldn't mind moving Brandon Cooks. Like, there's a handful of guys out there that could be dealt. I think that this is a very big factor. Danny Stutzman needs to start over Pete Werner. You're starting to see the snap count increase and the usage of Danny Stutzman increase each week, and he's starting to take more and more snaps. And fun fact, this past week against the Bears, he did not have as many snaps as Pete Werner, but he had more production than Pete Werner. So for what it's worth, I totally agree with you. Danny Stutzman, friend of the show. Steve, friend of the show. We've had them both on for an interview in training camp. Highly encourage you to go check it out. It was an awesome conversation. I'm a dirty little stut, so the quicker we see Stutzman on the field, the quicker I'm a happy camper. CTM, what is your dream trade? Pete Werner for a first-round pick. That's my dream trade. Because then you don't have to get rid of Olave. You don't have to get rid of Shaheed. You don't have to get rid of any of the valuable veterans. And you get way overcompensated for a player that, I'm going to say, just like we talked about with Danny Stutzman's kind of getting replaced and kind of getting worked out already. Lopez, what do you think? Dream trade.
I'll go a little bit more realistic. It won't be as real. Remember that one that we were talking about before we went live with the Bills and the Saints?
Yes.
That Bills Twitter guy?
It was for the one that you're talking about, for reference. The Bills receive Chris Olave. The Saints receive a 2026 first, a 2026.
I thought it was a second and 2/3.
Oh, it was yes, it was a second and 2/3. Oh, a 2026 second, a 2026 third, and a 2027 third. So 1 second, 2 third-round picks for Chris Olave.
Yeah, I think that's just some value that you wouldn't be able to turn down.
Yeah.
Is it realistic? Probably not. I don't see the Bills offering that much, but
if you get that offer, you
yeah.
pack Olave's bags.
If
for
we're
him.
trading Pete Werner for a first here, might as well trade
Olave for three.
Chris Olave for a second and 2/3.
Picks. Yeah, might as well. Look, again, it's not realistic, but it's a dream trade, so it doesn't have to be realistic. It can be exactly whatever we want because it's my dream, and I'm the only one sleeping here. Actually, Lopez is too. But anyway, you know what I mean. Donovan, what's going on, brother? Honest take. I know Rattler might not be the option, but the downplay his growth from last year to this year is crazy. Yes, he still has inaccurate times, but he looked way better. Okay, honest take. I know Rattler might not be the option, but so I don't know if you're saying like I'm saying he isn't looking better. I'm not. I don't think that's what you're saying. I totally agree with you. Spencer Rattler looks immensely better in year 2 than he did in year 1. Like you can seriously see that second year step that he's taken. He's gotten better protecting the football. He's gotten better at using his legs. He's gotten better at limiting the sacks. So I totally agree with you. I think Rattler has been better. I also will say I want to see Tyler Shough play because the Saints used a top 50 pick on him. And I think that it's not a crazy concept to say I want to see a quarterback taken in the top 50 get on the field at some point. I know it's so outlandish to say, but I do agree with you. Spencer Rattler has been solid. He hasn't been the reason the Saints have lost games. He also hasn't really been the reason the Saints have won any games this year. So even in the Saints win against the Giants, he only had 1 touchdown, and the Saints only found the end zone once. So, like, my point being, special teams and defense is what really won that game. I think that Spencer Rattler is continuing to grow. This week is going to be a really big opportunity to bounce back from adversity. We had 4 turnovers against the Bears, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble. This is a really good chance for him to bounce back and show that he has grown and he isn't just going to crumble under the pressure. It's a divisional matchup. Really excited to see this one against the Bucs. I love football. What's going on, man? Trizzy and Lopez, if you were the Saints, would you draft a linebacker just in case anything happens to DeMario? Yes, because you have to plan for life after DeMario Davis no matter what. Injury, trade, anything like that, he's going to retire at some point. You do need to plan for that. You also need to plan for life after Cam Jordan. So that's something you need to do. You also needed to plan for life after Tyrann Mathieu. You drafted Jonas Sinker. I think you still need another safety in that regard. Drop my water bottle. I would say if you can go and get David Bailey out of Texas Tech, or you can get Arvell Reese, that's his name, I believe, the Ohio State linebacker, like one of those two would be unbelievable. I would love that in New Orleans. Playing alongside Danny Stutzman, sign me the F up. Hunter Padgett, if the Saints get a top 3 pick and they decide Rattler's our guy, should we trade down and get 2 first-round picks in the second and get a defensive end and wide receiver? If you get 2 firsts in a second, yes, trade down. Which I think, if depending on who wants to go up, that can fluctuate where the value is depending on how high they have to jump. If you're a top 3 pick and you want to roll with Rattler or you want to roll – the conversation's still the same with Shough, by the way. If you feel like you have your franchise quarterback, I don't necessarily know if the Saints do feel that way, but if you feel that way, then yes, I would trade down and get more draft picks, or I would take a Caleb Downs or a Reuben Bain or something like that to try to get the best of the best available. Like the goal is not to have a top 3 pick. If you have the opportunity to take a top 3 pick, sure, trading it is valuable and you can get a bunch of extra picks, and I think that would be smart. But I also don't hate the idea of grabbing the best guy who's going to make the biggest impact and your biggest spot of weakness immediately. And that's what you can get in a top 3 selection. Lopez, what do you think?
In the moment, I would be a little upset, I think, if they traded down out of a top 3 pick, because it'd just be like all that hype throughout the draft process. Be like, damn, I really wanted this guy.
Yeah, if you're going to trade that pick, do it in February, or do it at the end of February, do it in March, something so that way we know it's okay, we don't have the 3rd overall pick, because I will get excited about a Reuben Bain, Caleb
it's
Downs,
gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to be
Jordan
like,
Tyson,
damn, we don't get one of them now.
Yeah, you don't get one of the guys.
Yeah, especially if we're getting 2 first, it's probably gonna be like a mid mid-first rounder and then like a first next year. So we'd be getting kind of the same draft range that we've been in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Like it would be hard to see us trade out of a top 3 pick, in my opinion.
I don't disagree.
Call
with
it
you.
selfish, but
No, I don't
I'm
disagree
tired
with
of
you.
picking in the middle.
Yeah, a pick 12, not going to be as effective as a third overall pick. Just at least on paper, and if you make the pick correct. That's the other thing. Mickey Loomis, notorious bad draft classes over the last few years. This past June, it actually seems like it's going to be okay.
Get ready to get another guy to UTSA.
Oh my God! Yeah, just
Start learning Roadrunner, buddy.
Don't do anything stupid, please, Mickey Loomis. Let's just. I don't care what we do. Just don't do anything stupid. Jaden, Trace and Lopez, get back on screen, brother. Would y'all trade Justin Reed now or in the offseason and draft Caleb Downs in the 2026 draft? Yes or no? I think y'all are not going to like my answer. I'm going to say no, because I think part of the reason Jonas Sanker is playing well is because there has been quality veterans around him. And I think if you lose a quality veteran, it could hurt the development of the player next to him. I think there's a world where you can have all three of them and rotate them or use them in different situations, to be honest. Like, I don't know if you feel any different. Like, I wouldn't mind it. Like, I went on record, I wouldn't mind it, but I think there's a world where you can have all three of them.
I think if I had to rank like the option that there are, number 1 would be just draft Caleb Downs and keep Justin Reed.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Number 2 would be draft Caleb Downs, and then I guess if we have to get rid of Justin Reed, sure. I would love to walk away with Caleb Downs. Basically, that would be like number 3 option is like we don't get Caleb Downs. That would be like the least favorable in my opinion.
Yeah, well, and even if Justin Reed is still around and he's not the starter over Caleb Downs, one, it gives the ability to not rush Caleb Downs to the field as a starter. You can know you throw Justin Field out week 1, 2, 3, whatever. Or if it's Jonas Sanker, whatever. You can have your best 2 out of those 3 players on the field. The other thing to think about is Justin Reed is still valuable as a backup if he is a veteran presence.
He'd be one of the best backup safeties.
Yes, he would be, if not the number 1 backup safety in the league. He would be a very valuable veteran presence. God forbid there's an injury there. You plug him in immediately and he's making an impact. So I think there's a world where all 3 of these get to stick around, to be totally honest. Scott, what's going on, brother? What do you think about Denzel Boston, Malachi Lemon, and Chris Olave wide receiver trio? To be totally honest, I don't know a ton about Denzel Boston or Malachi Lemon. I'm just not the Washington kid, right? 6'4", 209. I do like his size. 34 catches, 515 yards, 6 touchdowns. I like the size for Denzel Boston. What's the other one? Malachi Lemon. Looks like you guys want me to start my draft prep. That's what I'm getting out of this. Or Makai Lemon, excuse me. Wide receiver out of USC, 48 catches, 758 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5'11", 195 pounds. I wouldn't hate it. I would rather have if I had to pick 2 of the 3, Denzel Boston, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. That's what I would prefer. Nothing against Makai Lemon, but I need some more size.
I think what would also hurt this is these are going to be some of the top receivers in the draft, so you're going to be using 2 high-end picks, and you have a lot more holes in your roster than just receiver.
Yeah.
So I could see 1.
Yeah.
I'd get happy with 1.
See, I like how you answer that because I went from a Madden perspective. If I'm just going to put them off and put them on here, like just swap in, swap out, sure. But I like your perspective of like, no, but how you acquire these players is actually unrealistic. Like you would have to, if you traded back in round 1, you could potentially do this, but you need more than just 2 wide receivers. You need tight end. You need interior offensive line. You need edge rusher. You need linebacker. You need DB. You might need quarterback. You need probably some running back help. God, you could use a kicker. Like, Lopez, I actually really like how you answered that. I nailed it. Shout out to Lopez on this one. Scott, I appreciate your question. My answer will be I'd rather have Denzel Boston, Rashid Shaheed, and Chris Olave as that wide receiver trio. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us in our mailbag portion of today's live show. We go live every single Monday at 3 p.m. Central Time, every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Time, and then we go live on game days an hour before kickoff. So make sure you subscribe. We'll see you guys at Saints vs. Bucks. Y'all stay golden. For my guy, Loco Lopez. See you next time. Oh, yeah. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a live show in 1 hour and 11 minutes.
That was a 17-minute Q&A segment.
That was a great seg.
We were there. Great question.
You're in our bag.
Are we doing more draft prep, it seems like?
Seems like we're going to need to do some draft prep.
It's draft season.
Feels like we need to do some draft prep. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start a 60-second timer. If you guys want to get on the Icy White helmet or get your raffle tickets, buy one, get one. Last chance to get them on sale because on game day they become full price. 60 seconds. If we get one super chat, we'll extend it to 2 minutes. But we got to have somebody buy a raffle ticket or get a helmet sticker. Right now, Jay is the only one who has a raffle ticket. And we're giving away a pretty cool item. Lopez, if you wouldn't mind.
Yes, I will.
Can we
pop that up.
show them what it is?
Of course.
It's a plaque from the Super Bowl. You got football cards for Breeze, Colston, Shough, Pierre Thomas. A lot of legends on there. So if you want to go ahead and enter the raffle, $5, you get 2 tickets. On Sunday, $5 only gets you 1 ticket. On Sunday, $20 gets you on the helmet ticket, but today it's only 10. So there you go. If you guys want to send in a super chat, you have 15 seconds remaining to buy some more time and to get on sale raffle tickets. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty, we're going to hop on out of here. Next time we'll be live will be game day, Sunday, 2 p.m. Central Time, kickoffs at 3:05. We'll be here, we'll be hanging out, and it's going to be a grand old time. Hope to see you guys at our watch party. For Lopez, my name is Trizzy Tace. Y'all stay golden, and we will see you next time.